up, everyone? It's Building Beast. So I wanted to talk a little bit today on my way home from work about injuries and pain. So it seems like there's been a common theme that's been going on just like around, I don't know, it's like everybody around me been getting hurt. And one of the things that I wanted to one thing I wanted to address was feeling pain from working out is common, but that's not normal. So it's one of those things that you'll hear a lot of people dealing with, but we just kind of like push through it. And when I'm speaking of pain, I'm not talking like little aches here and like naggingness. That stuff happens, especially as you get older. Like, it starts raining outside, your elbow wants to start bothering you. Like, I'm not talking about that type of thing. I'm talking about like real issues. Like, when you squat, your lower back shouldn't tense up right away. When you deadlift, that shouldn't happen either. You shouldn't have a sharp pain going down in your hip flexor when you're doing a lunge. You know, when you're doing a bench press, your elbow shouldn't feel like it wants to lock up on you. Just like little things like that. And I think that if you're training and you're ruining your body, you're doing yourself a disservice. I'll go a little bit back into my experience with powerlifting. And I love powerlifting, so I don't want to come off like I am bashing powerlifting, but I do think the powerlifting brain can be a little detrimental. So when I was competing, I left at pretty much like a high point in my powerlifting career, and I was kind of faced at the roads like, if I want to continue this right now, I could be a pretty elite lifter, but I knew how my body was starting to feel, and I knew where my brain was mentally in the terms of powerlifting. And I think the problem sometimes with a lot of powerlifters are they're only concerned about 3 movements, which is barbell squat, barbell bench, barbell deadlift. So even if you do make suggestions to us when we're in that mode, the first thing we're going to ask is, hey, does that help my bench? Does that help my squat? Does that help my deadlift? And sometimes it's not about that. And in getting the true benefits of strength training, it's not about just building up 3 movements. Strength training is about building up your body, building up your core strength, building up your rotational strength, building up like single leg and single arm strength, stability. Having proper mobility says a lot about your strength too. Mobility is like flexibility meets strength. Sometimes you can be extremely flexible, but you have no strength to hold certain range of motion, so it doesn't make you mobile. And then you have other terms, other ways where you're just not mobile enough because you're just actually tight. But if you know basic anatomy, if you're tight somewhere, that's from a weakness somewhere else, or overcompensations and things of that nature. So even in the sense of that, if I'm so press heavy, then my rear shoulders might be weak. So naturally, my body's going to conform into the shape of protraction or rounded shoulders, because I didn't do enough work to open up my range of motion in my shoulders, and maybe I didn't do enough rear work to strengthen up the muscles that's going to hold my posture together. That's weakness. Good posture says a lot about your strength. It says a lot about your core strength. It says a lot about your scapular strength. says a lot about your pelvic alignment. Like, these are things that we have to look at. And if we're just looking at just strengthening 3 movements, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. And also consider powerlifting. When you're speaking of these 3 movements too, you're only working out in your strongest stances. So even that can come with overcompensation over time. So I know I went a little bit from the main point, but if you're working out and you're constantly finding yourself getting hurt, you're pulling muscles from exercising in the gym constantly. You're dealing with sharp pains and excruciating pains and things like that. You need to backtrack and really see what you're doing to yourself. Exercise is the fountain of youth. That shouldn't bring you to an early demise. You know? This is supposed to add value to our years, and it's supposed to make us feel younger and healthier and better versions of ourselves. But if we're doing training that's literally ruining our body, then what are we really doing this for? Especially if you're just doing fitness because you love fitness. It's not like you're a professional athlete getting paid. If I was getting paid a couple million, I'd probably beat the shit out of my body too. But that's not the reality. Like, fitness should be enjoyable. It should be fun. It should be self-improving. I don't want to feel pain every time I do a deadlift. Something's wrong there. I want to feel the muscles activate the way that they should. I want to see my posture get better. I want to look at my body control get better. I want to feel better. Strength training is the foundation to every component of fitness, whether it's mobility, body composition, cardio, muscular endurance. You need strength as your base level for anything that you want to do in fitness. But I don't mean just in the sense of a barbell. I don't mean just in the sense of a dumbbell. I mean like your whole body. Work on your core strength. Work on the smaller muscles. Work on your hips. The hips is a big one. Work on your rotator cuffs. Like, we should be striving to really strengthen up our whole bodies. I know this video is getting a little long-winded, but anybody that's listening to this, I want you to really focus in on taking care of your body, paying attention to the signs, and start looking for the root issues to some of these things that you're dealing with. It's not that squatting is bad for you. It's not that deadlifting is bad for you. It's not that benching is bad for you. But that's 3 movements compared to your whole body. Don't just marry those 3 exercises. You want to marry the movement patterns. You want to focus in on your squat, your hinge, your vertical, and your vertical pull, your vertical press, horizontal pull, horizontal press. Do some single leg work. Do some single arm work. Really look at strengthening your body as a whole, and magically your numbers start to fly up everywhere else. It's not magic. It's literally strength training. It's literally building your body up. Alright, that's my rant, guys. Take care of your body. Train for longevity. Be smart. Don't abuse yourself. It's not worth it. Take it easy, guys.